We could literally watch Kristen chain smoke cigarettes for freaking hours. Hi guys, welcome
Yay.
back to my channel. This is Sam. As per usual, we are here, but something is very different this time because this is my first collab I've ever done on this channel, which I'm so excited about.
Woohoo!
Here is Tori. Hi Tori, how are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
I'm so excited. I was sifting through my TikTok one day and you popped up on my For You page and I was like, this person literally does the exact same thing I do and I need to reach out to them and cross my fingers that they're like, yeah, let's talk.
Yes, no, I'm so happy. You have all the same interests. I can yap about all these shows forever, so I'm so excited.
I think that's the biggest thing that I realized when I started my like social media stuff and I like pivoted toward this type of topic was that there are so many people, especially women, that are like, I have
Mm,
nobody to talk to about this stuff. So like watching you is like FaceTiming with like my best friend.
exactly. That's exactly how I feel. I
And
love
I
having all
love
the
it.
internet friends. Yeah, it's amazing.
It's the best. And I think like the best part is when like the micro influencers get together because like I had a podcast like at the beginning of the pandemic and I talked to a couple different micro influencers and it's even more fun because you guys like we like actually talk to each other. It's not just like rando on the internet that's like superior to all of us.
Literally that exactly. I love it. I love the little community.
Exactly. So we said that we were
Yeah.
going to talk about all the southern shows because I don't know about you, but like I have always been a Real Housewife follower and then like Vanderpump Rules. Like I never got into all the other side shows, but for whatever reason, Southern Charm and Southern Hospitality like really got me this year.
Yeah, I watched Southern Charm a few years ago. Like I started getting into it then. So then when Southern Hospitality started, like season one, I was like, oh, I'll watch it because I always could use more TV. And I got hooked on season one. And I tried to get other people to watch it and no one would listen to me. And I'm like, you don't
Yeah.
understand. It's like Vanderpump. It's like the early days of Vanderpump.
Yeah.
It's so messy. I love it. I love it. I also love that they all still work there and they don't have like crazy big followings. Like they're kind of normal still, which is fun. Like they don't have the Bravo money yet, which I really enjoy.
I think that's like the beauty. And like I asked you if you were a Vanderpump Rules fan because I'm like, if you're not a Vanderpump Rules fan, this is going to be a struggle episode. But I'm so excited you are because this is like, that's exactly why I think I'm enjoying Southern Hospitality right now is because that was like the
Mhm.
peak window of Vanderpump Rules was before they started
Yeah.
cosplaying, like they actually still worked at the restaurant when we all knew, like factually
Yes.
evidence based, like scientists knew that they
Yes.
did not work at Sir. Like they
Yeah.
100% didn't work out Sir. Maybe like one of them did, especially like DJ James Kennedy. Like he was the only one, but
Yeah.
everybody else didn't work there. And like that was like the first 5 seasons about, I would say, was like that
Yeah.
sweet spot. And I feel like that's kind of where we're at like right now is they clearly all still work there. There's no like mind games in that department. And
No.
Leva is so much more like I would rather watch Leva as like the head honcho than Lisa Vanderpump. Like I like her spot in there.
I think because it's not Real Housewives-esque, it's like another show, like not similar caliber to like Southern Hospitality, but
Mhm.
you're not expected to be like rolling in the dough. Like you're still partying, you're still kind of going out and doing that. So
Yeah.
I think it's cool because she's like in that group and is still, hits the town, whatever, but then is like kind of trying to be a boss, but is kind of messy in some ways, like, which I like I like that. Did you watch last season? Where
Southern
there's
Hospitality, I didn't because I'm not gonna lie, I was one of those Vanderpump Rules fans that was like, "How dare you try to replicate the best thing that ever happened
yeah.
to me, you bastards." And then and then I watched it. I watched the first season and I was like, "I can't handle this." And then I skipped the second season as like a revolt. And then third season,
Right.
I was like, I think I'm gonna give another shot and see what happens. And now I'm like, oh my God, what was I thinking?
No, this season is so good. But last season, there was a girl that gets fired because she has a sip of alcohol while she's on her shift. But like everyone drinks. And so it was
Yeah.
so messy because Lev is like, well, you broke a rule, so I'm firing you. And I'm like, then your whole staff should be fired. But like
Yes.
the way she kind of picks and chooses to be a boss, I think plays into a really good storyline.
Yeah.
And I like her on Southern Hospitality, like for that reason. So I totally agree.
Yeah, Lisa Vanderpump with, like, Stassi, and, like, Stassi's, like, hiding drinks, like, in different sections of the bathrooms, and it's like, "We're gonna fire
Yeah.
this person, but we're not gonna fire" it's like, "No, you just hate Kristen Doty, like, you're firing her because you like, legitimately despise this woman, but you're gonna let Jax literally steal half of the restaurant and have it in his apartment that you've seen and be okay with that."
Literally, wow, I was just, like, taken back, that's so funny, but it's true.
It's so hilarious. So I basically clumped like all like the last 3 episodes of Southern Hospitality in like one sitting because I was like, "Holy crap, I didn't realize I was this far behind." But I
Yeah.
tried to get like the general just like themes and conversations and ideas about the episode. And I think the biggest thing that one thing that I really happy about with Southern Hospitality that I wish that they would have done on Vanderpump Rules is I really love that they have two main characters that are gay. And I always thought that Vanderpump Rules really missed out on that opportunity when they were in the gay mecca of California.
So
Like
literally what I was about to say, literally what I was about to say, yeah.
I just don't understand how like and the thing is like I will say the thing that I love the most about Vanderpump Rules was that the reason why I think that they were so good is because they were real relationships that happened outside of the show that they were already going to be screaming and yelling at each other whether there was a camera in front of them or
Yeah.
not. So like I obviously understand that they needed to have like organic people on the show. Like you can't just like when they put Billy Lee, I'm like, listen, love the representation. She clearly does not mix with this group in any way, shape, or form. And this is just like
Mhm.
like a try hard situation. And I just love like even though like TJ is the messiest gay on planet Earth. I'm so happy that him and
He's
Michaels are on there together. They're like a good little opposite of each other.
I totally agree, I totally agree. So, from someone who has watched from day one, like,
Yep.
I feel like I've gone on a roller coaster with TJ.
Mhm.
I'm like, "I can't stand you. Wait, you're kind of funny. Wait, I love this." But Michael's being in the mix really helps a lot, and
Yeah.
Michael's is so mature for his age. Like, when I found out how
Yeah.
young he was, I was like, "Wait, hold on, what?" But he is so good on the show. Like, it's kind of like remember like what was it, season 8 or not? I think it was 8 of Vanderpump where they brought in random people and you're like, why are all these random people added in at once? I was a little
Yeah.
nervous for Southern Hospitality because they added in a few people and I'm like, ay, ay, ay. Michael's, no, he's perfect. He was made for the show and like made for this group of people, I think. Like he's been amazing. So I totally agree.
And the fact that his best friend is Emmy is I'm like, "Girl, we picked the wrong one in the group." Like this girl is she is like again, the only comparison I have is Vanderpump Rules. Like Emmy is season 1 and 2 Kristen Doty. They're just Kristen and Tom Sandoval again.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's what it is exactly. And the Will and Emmy of it all is so messy because I think on this season they give flashbacks so you can kind of see from last season.
Yep.
But this is not the first rodeo of Homeboy cheating on her. And so it's
No.
just like, when will she open up her eyes? Like, it is really sad. And part of me just thinks that while she says she's not like the classic lady from the South and coming from someone who is from the South, like,
Yep.
it is so true. Like, they expect you just to be married. You're going to listen to your husband. He's going to go make money. You sit at home. I think she says she doesn't want to do that, but she's giving all the signs that's what she wants to do. You're staying with a
Yeah.
man that's going to give you a nice ring, going to give you a nice home, and you're just going to let him do whatever he wants because you have the life. You have the picture perfect life. And I'm like, you're saying you don't want that, but you're doing it. You're literally acting that way.
Yeah.
And anytime someone comes from your man, you mascara down your face,
Oh
lose your
my
mind.
god.
And I'm like,
The tweaking
when you,
out is aggressive.
it is scary. It's scary. I'm like, first off, let's get some waterproof mascara, baby girl. Like, there's some good
When I
options.
saw her crying, I said, the producers are in the room, like salivating. They're like, we cannot wait to jump to this picture 700 times.
No, literally. Like the whole dress fiasco was crazy, but then like her storming off the lake house and everything.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, number one, are you okay? Like let's like have a therapy moment. And, like, are you
Yes.
okay? Because
Yes.
the smallest things set you off to like the nth degree. You don't need to freak out that much. Like there's no need
Yeah.
to. And it's like when they bring up her boyfriend, I'm like, if it's not okay, if you're not having a good relationship, let's talk about it. Like, it's okay to
Yes.
break up. It's okay to do whatever you need to do.
Yep.
But the way she freaks out, and I am assuming on this next episode, they're going to talk about it more in Vegas from the preview.
Yes.
And her whole thing at the lake house was Will was not there to defend himself. So he's going to be there to defend himself. And I'm like, okay, what is he going to say? Because
Yep.
when you have multiple people with the same story, I don't know.
I
You
just don't
just, at some
understand.
point,
And I don't like that they keep, especially Emmy keeps making up this fun little story of how, like, basically, like, they were blindsided. No one came up to them. No one tried to talk to them. No one did anything. I'm like, no, sweetie. Like, there were multiple times that both of you, not just one of you, both of you were sat down on camera and were respectfully and calmly spoken to about your situation. And both of you either shoved it off like it was nothing, pretended it was not a big deal, made it seem like it was one instance when it has been multiple, or just
yep,
again had an Emmy temper tantrum. And like when she was freaking out a couple episodes ago about the possibility of her basically like using her store credit and like taking the money from the girls, I was like, we are not
crazy.
upset about that. You're just,
No.
that's not what you're upset about. Like you're
Yeah,
hyperventilating and you're roid raging out and your veins are coming out of your neck. Like you're not upset about this. You're upset about your sick, nasty ass boyfriend who shows up at your place of employment. That's the other part that's so wild to me, is your place of
yeah,
employment and sits down drunk off of his face and is like, she's an anorexic. All she wants to do is work out. I'm like, what do you want? Like, what do you want for a girlfriend? Like, you couldn't ask for a better girlfriend.
I it's like, she's not going out and drinking and making out with other guys.
Nope.
Like, I mean, you can't say that for yourself, my guy. You have how
Exactly.
many girlfriends up in college? Like, that's what is mind-boggling. Like, yeah, and I will say, from someone that's watched from season 1, Emmy has changed quite a bit, but I think
Yes.
in some ways for the better, and like, she is more healthier. I think she's more confident with who she is, but I think it's, like, almost like a double-edged sword. It, like, makes her less confident in her relationship, and
Yeah.
so because her boyfriend, well, it looks like he doesn't wanna, like, look at her, he doesn't wanna kiss her, he doesn't want
Yeah.
anything to do with her, which is so sad, and I'm like, "Girl, you live in Charleston, how many guys are probably there, like,
Yep.
just go." It is so sad. It
I
breaks my
just wish
heart.
that she would just sometimes I really wish there was like this refreshing sense of like them of someone like Emmy looking at camera and being like, yeah, I want to be rich. I don't care how many times he cheats on me. I could give two shits and just like sit in that confidence of like, yeah, and what? Now what are you guys gonna do? And it's like, whoa, what do we like? I don't feel like anybody has ever done that. And I'm like, yeah, let's like just be confident and let's just sit in our truth and be totally fine. Be like, yeah, if he wants to bone half of Charleston, I genuinely don't care as long as I get married and there's no prenup. I'm good to go.
No, literally, as you were saying that, my brain, I was like, "Has anyone done that before?" I'm, like, going through every single TV
No.
show I've ever watched. I'm like, and honestly, it would be iconic of her, and I think people would
Yes.
finally just shut up. People would be like, "Okay, you know what? You're telling us this is what you want.
Yeah.
We are going to back off.
Yeah.
Have it. You can have it."
Yep.
And I think because she flips out the way that she does, Will just sits there silently. I mean, the guys have met with him multiple times. He has said
Oh yeah.
nothing about any of it. He's tried to
Nope.
brush past it. And I'm like, if both of you would own up to your shit and just be like, all right, you know what? Yes, I cheated. And she says, I don't care. We can move on.
Yeah.
And like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this storyline is just going to keep going and keep going and keep going.
Oh,
Like,
I
I
know.
don't know
And
how
that's
it's
the
going to
thing is
end.
like we need to get to the part where they break up because then that's very much the whose side are we on thing. And like you can clearly tell like they all want to be on Emmy's side, but she makes it so difficult because she
So
just
difficult.
rages and it's like girl she like he is not the hill you want to die on. Like he's first of all he looks like any typical white frat boy from that area and they keep saying that he's a lawyer. He's not a fucking lawyer. He
No,
literally has not passed a bar. He is not a lawyer. He's not superior to any of you. Why they
no.
all act like he's the one that got away and like is a grown adult. It's like how's that working out for him? He comes back every other weekend to get sloshed at his girlfriend's restaurant and act like a dweeb. Like what?
Exactly. Like he looks like he's 14, first off. Let's
Yes.
talk about that.
Yes.
And from someone who deals with a lot of frat daddies, he is a frat
Yes.
daddy to a
Yes.
It's so funny. It honestly reminds me, and I know you did. I don't think you watched like early days of Southern Charm. Like he
Mhm.
is Craig because
Yeah.
Craig was like
Yeah.
didn't pass the bar for so long, and I'm like,
Yeah.
they are the same. And
Yeah.
like, while Craig has had a great arc of like growing,
Yeah.
maybe one day Will can have that. But
Yeah.
that took what 7 seasons? You know, like it's gonna take a while for him to like get to the point where he's at now.
Yeah, it
But
literally took Paige to be, like, the Italian queen that she is of being like, "Get it together." Like, other than that, Craig would
exactly,
still be just
exactly,
like Austin and just like Shep.
exactly. And Emmy, being his girlfriend, she could have the opportunity to pull a page and be like, you know what, get into shape. We're going to do this. You're going to do this, this, this. But she's not because, again, I think she
Mm,
just wants to be rich. She just wants the ring. She wants the house. She wants that Charleston image. That's all that matters. And
no,
so I
she
don't think she's
doesn't
ever going to whip him into shape.
no, she doesn't care, and again, that's fine, just, like, own it, baby, like, get into the weeds with it. Um, so my other thing that kinda, like, weaves into both is I don't know why this season of both Southern shows, it feels like they both have these random side characters that do not push the storyline forward in any way, shape, or form, but they continue to force them onto us. And I don't understand, like Mia and what's her face there that I can't even remember her name because she makes me so angry every time she pops up screen that doing the singing at the DJing thing. And I'm like,
Grace
girl,
Lily.
I'm
Yeah.
like, get her off of my screen. She drives
Okay,
me
so
insane.
no, she does. I will say they both have some lore from the previous
Right,
season
right.
that kind of helps. So, like Mia, she told off Leva. She was
Yeah,
one of the girls that got fired. And I think that because of that one scene, Bravo's like, we've got to keep her. We've got to keep her. I'm like,
right.
she gave us one scene.
Yeah.
That's it. And like the way they keep pushing her through like FaceTime calls. And I guess they knew she would come to Vegas towards the end of the season. So, like, that's why. But I'm also like, and then she really tried to start drama like the second she came on by
Right.
calling out the new guy. And I'm like,
Austin. I'm like, what are
it
we
was
this is a throwaway scene.
literally. And for Grace Lilly, I've been saying that all season. I'm like, you're giving us her for what? You're
No.
pushing like the last couple seasons she worked at Republic. She
Right.
actually played a part there. And now
Right.
she's not. And I just don't understand. And again, I think it's like, does she sleep through the set in Vegas? Okay.
Who cares? Like who like I would rather have her be like a background character where she's like, she's floating around some scenes, she's talking to them or whatever, but like they keep
Yeah.
making her somehow be a part of little the mini like not the thread through storyline, but the mini storylines. And I'm like, that like same with Mia. It's like I don't care if Mia's on the show. Just stop trying to make her be somebody that matters to the storyline when she just doesn't. Like just let her show up. It's so exciting. Mia's here.
Yeah.
Woohoo. And then like she hangs out and has a good time. But like sitting there and acting like Austin said like these heinous things about her. And it's like, I'm so like this scene is boring and I don't know why you're doing this. And then the same with Southern Charm with Molly. It's like, it's not that I don't like her. It's that
Yeah.
she doesn't make any sense to the storyline. She is not attracted to Whitney. I will literally die on this hill that this
No.
nobody is attracted to Whitney. Okay, not one person on that show is. Not even his own mother cares
Mm-mm.
about this man,
Mm-mm.
okay?
Mm-mm.
And
Mm-mm.
anytime she has a scene that has to do about her, she's by herself. She's with nobody.
Yeah. But and that's what I find interesting because they did do the like mid-season trailer,
Yeah.
and I think she's a part of some drama. But it's like,
Yeah.
while I did love her like tuba scene, I will
Yeah.
say outside of that, like she hasn't really given us much of
No.
anything. And it's like I would rather you kind of have her thrown in and it's like Shep made out with this girl or whatever
Yeah.
happens, and then build her up from there and like
Yeah.
have her come in as that person because I
Yeah.
think that would almost help her
Yeah.
become more involved in the drama than having her like awkwardly at these like different places and events, where like they don't kind of like mix in. So
Yeah.
I totally agree.
And she just
And
comes
I,
off as a very mature woman. So the fact that they're going to try to gaslight me into thinking that she is attracted to Shep or Whitney or any of these men outside of Craig is like, who do you think I am? Do you think I just walked onto this Bravo platform yesterday? Like, girl, I know what these women are attracted to and what they're not attracted to. And they are not someone like Molly, who is a very smart, intelligent, well rounded woman There's
Exactly.
no way in hell this woman is attracted to these middle-aged nobodies. And the storyline with Craig also, I'm like, again, this is a nothing snowball. Like nothing happened.
Mhm.
Stop trying to edit it that Paige cares. Cause if again, if you've watched Paige since day one, she surely does not care what Craig did before her. So why are we acting
Exactly.
like she's in the corner being like, this bitch? If anything, she's probably like, hey, tell me more. What text message did you send? Can you show me pictures of it?
Exactly. Like, did you do anything fun that I need to know about? Like,
Yeah.
she doesn't care. She does not
No.
care. And it's just so funny the way they like snip up, especially that like party scene where they like first saw
Yes.
each other, and the way they try to edit it in a way where it's like she's kind of like, oh, I don't like her. It's like we all know Paige. We
Yeah.
all know what she's thinking. Like, is
She
she
doesn't
really that
care.
bothered by it? No, she
She
does
just
not
wants
care
the
at
tea.
all.
And that's like that's why I wish they would do more
Mhm.
scenes with her and Madison because like that's all they want
Ugh,
to do. They just want to sit
yeah,
there and gossip with everybody and like they don't need to be in the drama. They just want to hear about the drama. And their reactions are
exactly.
hilarious.
I agree. I think you know how we had the summer party with Madison and Miss Pat. If
Oh,
Paige was added in the
yes.
mix of that, that would
Yes.
have been iconic. Like it would
Yes.
have been so good because Paige would have had a whole other side of things
Yep.
of like, well, Craig told me this. Well, Craig said this,
Yep.
which is so sad that we won't be getting that again, but also it's okay.
I
But like that was,
know.
I feel like almost a missed opportunity. Like it would have been so good.
Yeah, and I
So
think
good.
moving to, like, Southern Charm, like, I do like that they're showing, like, I think, because 'cause they've always had confrontation with Craig and Paige, like, that's always been a topic,
Yeah.
and it's been, like, the same conversation on Summer House and the same conversation on and it's like, we get it, but
Yeah.
I like that this one time, you finally kinda see Paige very much like, I don't actually want to have this conversation anymore, I am actually over it, your guy friends who are middle-aged men with no hopes or no perspectives in a partner are trying to have this
Hmm.
conversation and all and I understand that Craig is very much like I do think like he is fine with their
Yeah.
relationship overall, but I do agree with Paige of like you just sit there. Like you need
Hmm.
to be like like very confidently like you do in front of me tell them like shut up. This is none of your business. And for Austin to sit there and be like, "Oh, well, I don't know anything about the relationship." That's cuz it's not your relationship, bro.
Exactly. And it's also like, do we know anything about you and your new girlfriend other than you call her Pookie? Like,
Oh,
no,
and that she was in high school last week?
literally. It's like,
What?
okay. And exactly. And I think it's like Craig, well, he's had a lot of growth. There's some things he does, and I'm like, Craig, stop, stop right
Yes.
now. And I'm sure, like, watching
Yes.
the season back, like, for example, when he brought up looking at the rings with Paige, it's like, did you really need to bring that up? Did you
Did
really need
you
to bring that
actually
up?
do it?
Because exactly, exactly. I cannot trust anything that comes out of his mouth.
No.
And I'm like, how did Paige deal with that for almost what 3 years, 2.5, 3 years? It's like,
Because I think she likes that he's messy. I think she finds that entertaining because she
ugh,
loves the gossip and the tea because if we're like looking at like a regular heterosexual relationship, he's very much like the housewife, the woman or whatever in the relationship
yeah,
and she's very much the masculine driven working person. And so I think
yeah,
she finds him to be very entertaining because they like to gossip with each other.
100%. I mean, I would say the relationship made great for all the crossovers. Like, I
Yes.
loved the information we got from both sides. I,
Yeah.
I will say I will miss that.
Yeah.
But no, but Craigie boy, I'm like, oh yeah, yeah. And people I think are trying to do like a Molly and Craig situation, or like they're trying to like see what they could get in. And I'm like,
I
I just don't
can't.
know if that's
I
I don't
can't.
think that's gonna happen. I really don't think it's
No.
gonna happen.
No, I
It's
think
so
Craig is gonna be
fascinating.
single and fine, and you know that the second the and I'm talking the millisecond that those 2 leeches found out that their bestie was single, ready to mingle, they were on speed dial being like, "Where can we get you to the nearest bar and we can go hit on some girls?" It's like, ugh,
Yes. Like Paige said, salivating at the mouth. Like they are
salivating.
ready to go. Which I
Yeah,
mean, they did pick up cameras again for Southern Charm when I saw that at the end of the trailer for the mid
which I
season.
was like,
And
"Does
I'm
Paige
like,
know this?"
that. It's like interesting how you're doing that for this, but because there's no winter house, we can't see that. And like summer house isn't gonna pick back up. So it's like you're
Yeah.
gonna make us wait till the next summer. It's giving unfair. It's giving we're trying to like
Yeah.
feed one side of their narrative and keep pushing. Sure, whatever. But I
Yeah.
mean, the way that Shep and Austin are going to be so ready for Craig to come back into their lives. It's like
Oh,
they're waiting for their ex to come back. Like they
yes.
cannot wait. I mean, and because we know Shep gets no attention from his girl. So he's like, I need attention from someone.
Yes.
Craig's gonna give it.
Yep.
And Austin is just so strange with how he deals with Craig. It's like sometimes friendships just change and grow, and that's okay. And like if you're worried about getting a paycheck because you're not going to be on the show as much because you're not as interesting, people don't actually care to watch you and your Pookie monster. Like I don't
Yeah.
know what to tell you. Like
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yikes.
He is like, I think I'm going to assume saw very much the blowback from shows like Vanderpump Rules that have male and
Hmm.
female cast members, and very much saw like, holy shit, like the audience actually doesn't want to see man children anymore. And we actually don't support their life choices in being complete imbeciles.
Hmm.
Like, and I think
Hmm.
you're very much on the right track of like, holy crap, like, how am I going to stay on this show? Like, how am I going to be a part of this? And then I think him
Hmm.
leeching back onto Madison, while I do find it very entertaining, because again, he is another gossip girl. Like Austin is a
Yeah.
gossip girl.
Yeah.
And I find it very entertaining. And
Yeah.
obviously Madison wants nothing to do with him in any type of relationship because her husband is 10 times sexier and more amazing and wonderful. But it's
Amazing.
like another leech on of like, maybe if I hang out with Madison, like everything will work out. And that's a really good observation because I 100% agree with you on that.
I mean, because it even brought up going to therapy, which I love for him. I'm like, if you
Yeah.
are really putting in the work in therapy, I love that. But again, it's like the last 2 or 3 seasons, Craig has had this amazing growth arc that people love Craig. Craig has a great business. Craig, is not drinking as much anymore. He's making better decisions, like
Yeah.
all of this stuff. And I'm like, he has to be like, as much as he hates that for Craig, because Craig is not his drinking buddy anymore, he's probably like,
Yep.
well, okay, actually, people are loving Craig in this light. What do I need to do? And
Yep.
just trying to find his way in. I personally have never been the biggest fan of Austin. And so, like, anytime he does anything, I'm like, I can see right through this. I'm
Yes.
just like, you know,
Yep.
because he's not an OG. He wants to be the Craig and the Shep. He
Yep.
wants to be them, but he isn't. He came on being Shep's lookalike. That was the joke of his first season on, and it's like, not much has changed, my guy. You're dating a girl way younger
No.
than you, just like Shep. Like
Yep.
you're still drinking. Your business, you have this beer business, which I've never seen anywhere. Like
What business? That's the thing is like, what business do you have outside of literally riding Craig's
exactly,
coattails?
exactly, exactly. Yeah.
So it's insane. My next question for you, and I need you to be as honest as possible, is do you believe in any way, shape, or actual form that Vanita even in, at all would even breathe oxygen near JT? Please explain to
uh,
me what we're doing.
Literally, so I actually rewatched last week's episode this morning because I was
Yeah.
like, I need to make sure like I really got it in because I felt like it was a fever dream, this whole
Yes.
Vanita and like JT situation, because there's no way.
No.
And the way that she says that she first caught feelings for him when they were at the reunion, I was like,
Oh, caught a
when he,
cold? Caught influenza?
that is like, what? Huh? And she is someone that's been on the show. I think I really appreciate her for her like representation and what she brings. Her and Love both to Southern Charm, like
Yes.
really helped change the cast a little bit, which is really
Yes.
nice.
Yep.
But I will say that she doesn't bring a lot of drama. Like she
No.
is kind of one of those people that's like I noticed on this most recent episode, we spent a very long time watching her brush her dog's paws. I'm like,
Yes.
why is the scene so long? Like I get it's like
Yes.
the intro scene, but we're really doing a lot here. And
Right.
so she doesn't bring a lot. And so I really have to wonder, there's no way. There's
No.
no way she
Nope.
actually liked JT. Like BFFR with me, Benita. Like let's sit down
No.
because you
And Leva pretending that she's like excited about this relationship. I'm like, Leva, please be the voice of reason and literally look
no.
this woman in the eye, grab her by the face and go, what is wrong with you? Like, you are a scholarly lady. Like, you are so above him. Like, he is such, and I'm sorry, like, he really is. Like, and I don't agree with Austin on almost anything, but he is a little rat.
Oh, what exactly how I feel. Like most things that come of Austin's mouth, I'm like, I don't agree, whatever, dismiss. When
Yeah.
he talks about JT, he is right. He is spot on. I
Yeah.
mean, even just comparing their apartments to each other. Like
Yes.
JT likes to act like he has all this money. Where's your furniture?
Literally.
Why does your apartment look like literally like other frat daddies are living there that are like 19 or 20 years old, like their parents are paying
Yeah.
for it. And
Yep.
like Vanita has like this elevated little townhouse. It's so cute. Like she knows what she's doing with her life. She's super
Yep.
successful. She knows what she wants. And JT's over here like, how many girls can I try to get into my bed? And like they're gonna realize I'm wearing high heels the second I get home and take my shoes off. Like,
It makes absolutely no sense, and I don't know if you saw this,
yeah,
but I saw the rumor going around as to, like, why, because 'cause I've been sitting here like, why did this man, like, basically get booted off of the show or, like, booted
yeah,
himself off, whatever, and I saw
yeah.
that allegedly he was basically, like, blackmailing cast members in the production.
I did not see this.
Yes, and
I did not.
yes. So allegedly he had some like information of some sort or something. This specifically don't know. I'll have to find it and like directly send it to you so you can see it. I don't remember if it was a
Yeah,
TikTok or if
please
it was like
do.
a post. But basically like he for some reason was like going to blackmail the cast or blackmail production with some
Hmm.
crazy information, which is why they hate him so much, but like we don't really ever like fully grasp as to like other than like oh he's annoying or he's like a little twat like it's like okay but you guys like hate this man and I guess him and Leva in their little sit down at the cafe that they had together I guess that lasted a lot longer and there's actual like pictures and video of them like him getting mad and yelling at her and walking away from the table so like they legitimately hate him outside of what they're showing us on the show I guess.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, I remember when he had announced on Instagram the way that he did, like,
Yeah.
"I'm not coming back, yada, yada, yada," and, like, Madison was like, "Great, see ya," like,
Oh
in the
nobody cared.
comments, and I was like, "Wait, I mean, I know I feel that way, but explain, because what's going on?" And I've been trying to
Yeah.
piece together this whole season. I'm like, I mean, yeah, he's annoying. Yeah, he shouldn't give Miss Pat a cane. Yeah, like whatever,
Yeah.
like these little things here and there. But it's like there's something deeper. So this makes so
Yeah.
much sense. I don't know how I missed this. Oh
Yeah,
my
and I'm
goodness, I'm gonna have to
interested.
dig.
It's the first like, I'm not joking, I've tried to dig and find it out because 'cause I'm like, I'm sorry, Bravo, some gay production assistant is typing something on Reddit. Like,
I would
they're always doing it.
literally,
So,
yep,
but nothing was
yep.
shown, and then I found that one thing, and I was like, "That has to be what it is,"
Huh.
because it doesn't make it and then in the preview for the rest of the season, they have the part where Vanita goes into his room and he's like, no cameras, no nothing. And I'm like, no, 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 that's not the show that I'm sorry, you didn't sign up for that show. You didn't sign up for
Yep,
quiet time in the corner. You signed up to be on reality television, which means
yep.
you're mic'd up and you're ready to rock and roll. So you know you don't get to then guess what? Vanita doesn't get to go into the room then.
I, well, when I saw that, I was like, interesting. Vanita has to be mic'd up. She has to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if anything, and we might even get to hear him say like, "Take off your mic," or we can
Yes.
hear part of their conversation. But
Yeah.
she has to be mic'd. Like she has to be.
Yeah.
My brain is just like going a million different directions of like, what could he number one blackmail people for? Like,
Right.
what does
Which I'm
he
sure
have on
listen,
these people?
the boys alone probably have a treasure trove of things you could blackmail them
Yeah,
on. Listen, but like there's so many things that I could think of that I'm like, yeah, I could like what are they gonna do? They're racist. Yep. Well, they're from the South. It just is what it is. Like, whatever. Okay, cool. No one, no,
yep,
not that nobody cares, but like no one be shocked by that. They cheated on someone. Again, we all know this. Nobody cares.
yep.
Like, there's so many things that they've already done on camera willingly. What's the one thing that would shock all of us?
Exactly. It's like they've lied. We know that they slept with each
Mhm.
other
Yeah.
or each other's exes, or
Yeah.
Austin had a threesome. We know that. Like,
We don't care.
what more do you have? Yeah, like we know where they live. We
Yeah.
know, all the history there. They did
Yeah.
it on the 2020 season. They literally talked about the statues they had throughout the town. And
Yes.
like we know Shep's family, okay?
Yes. We
We know
know
Whitney's
Whitney's
land. We
family.
know it all.
Yes.
Exactly. We know it all. Like we've got it. So I wonder what it could be. Um, and I also shifting gears a little bit, but with
Yeah.
JT, I'm like wondering, if there's going to be anything else with Taylor and what that looks like. Because
Yeah.
she to me is a snooze fest. I think that they should have kept Olivia and got rid of her personally.
Yeah.
Because every time she's on the screen, she looks so bothered to be on screen. And I'm like, baby girl, do you want that check or not? Because you got to give us something. Because the whole
Well,
time she's just
I
like,
don't get it. Yeah, and I just
yeah,
my thing is that they're having this storyline that I'm a willing participant in. Okay, I am a willing
mm-hmm,
participant into
mm-hmm,
everybody and their mother has boinked Gaston. What I don't like is that then why won't they force this man to be on screen? Like he's the missing puzzle piece for the entertainment value of it. Like I don't care what these two girls have to say because they all boink each other. I want you
yep,
to put a mic on this man, point a camera at him, and go, so what's your side of the story? And you again, like you said, like you can tell that I just don't see a world where there's any reason for her to come back next year. And I'm actually kind of
no,
okay with that because she genuinely seems like a very broken human right now and that
yeah,
she doesn't need this in her life right now. And in
no,
normal circumstances, and I said this about Vanderpump Rules too, like if we're talking about like regular people like you and me, you would
yeah,
not be around your ex who tortured you like this or that you tortured in return. You would
yep,
not be around them every day. You would never speak to them again. So, like, in
yeah,
the real world, this isn't real. Like, these relationships,
right,
this is not how normal people behave. So,
right.
it might just honestly like be the best thing for her to get off of this show.
I totally agree because I think Austin and Madison are like super, super, super rare exes that even on reality TV, real life, like the fact that they sit and gossip is like uncommon.
Right.
And I think they both know like we have a show to put on. Like we're gonna put aside all the bullshit that we've had in the past and we're just
Yeah.
gonna like gossip together, which is great. We love that.
Yeah.
But Taylor, number one, she's never going to be willing to forgive Shep. And I'm not saying she has to. I'm just saying it just looks like she's never going to. I think
Right.
Shep is trying to like mend things there. Obviously, I think there's so much more outside of what we saw on camera to how he
Yeah.
treated her. And it was really sad. And so, like, it's so valid she wants nothing to do with him. That's totally fine. But you have to understand you're on a show with him. So it's like, when do you
Yeah.
decide, okay, I have to get off the show or I need to talk to my ex. Like you can't have both. I mean,
Right.
the only time we've seen this kind of done was like the most recent season of Vanderpump, but like
Right.
look where it got them.
Right. It didn't work.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I really wonder. And like Gaston, I'm pretty sure either his name or he was on Southern Hospitality. Like because he is TJ's roommate.
Oh,
And
wait.
so
Oh, what? Wait, what?
yeah. TJ and
Where did I
Gaston.
miss that?
So that's why in the beginning of season 3 of Southern Hospitality, Taylor is at TJ's apartment.
Oh my god. Okay, because I was like, oh yeah, like because naturally, like all of these groups, they always intertwine. So I'm like, oh yeah, Taylor's just on the screen,
Yeah.
like whatever, no big deal. Okay, that now makes a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, why is Gaston not on my television screen?
Exactly. And if anything, I say Taylor should go to Southern Hospitality. It's like
Yeah,
you have the tie with Leva, you have TJ, like be a little friend of on there, get a little bit of a check, and like go along your merry way. You know, sell
yeah.
whatever alcohol brand you're selling these days, whatever you do. Like I say
Seriously, they
do
all
that.
have one.
It's crazy. But I'm like, you don't have to be around Shep anymore. You don't have
Yeah,
to actually share about your life if you don't want to. But like you can still be in the Bravo sphere if that's what your heart truly desires, then like
yeah.
do that because your boyfriend is literally rooming with a guy on the other show. Make it
Yeah,
make
and
sense.
I think she would have more fun and be happier, and she could just sit there and let TJ be a hot mess and just enjoy it like the rest of us do, and
Yeah.
just have a good time. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think both shows are just it's a lot of up and down. It's a lot of oh my god, this is so interesting. Oh my god, what are we doing here? Oh my god, I love this. Oh my god, this is so boring. Like I'm
Hmm.
like I will finish out both seasons of both of these television programs, but yeah, they're kind of all over the place and they're definitely I think for next season for both shows, they just need to have a little bit of a filtration system to really figure out and like hone in who they're going to stick with and who they're going to keep as storylines and then who is just going to be again, they don't have to be X'd out from the whole show. It's just you will
Mhm.
not be added to the storyline. You will not have your own storyline. You will just be fun, hanging out at the parties, saying hi to
Yep.
people, and just be a friendly face that that the followers love to see, and just call it good. Like that's fine.
I 100% agree because I then enjoy the people more. Like if they're at a party, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like I see my friend. Like
Yes.
I know you, and that's all I do see you on my screen. And like, and if let's say if there's one random party, you're gonna have a little bit of a blow up or whatever. Great.
Yep.
I love that.
Yep.
Most of the time, I don't need it carried on for 3 episodes. I don't need to see the follow
No.
up conversation in the park. I don't need to see the follow up conversation at dinner. Just leave it there.
Nope.
It's okay. Like I'm fine with that.
It's kind of ridiculous. So
Yeah.
before we end, we have like 5 minutes. So I'm like, let's speed
Yes.
round Traitors really quick. And like you tell me like just how you feel about Traitors. What like I'm assuming you're like an OG Traitor watcher. So like how are you feeling about this season?
So here's the thing is I since a little kid I've watched reality TV. Like my dad and I we bonded over Survivor and we bonded over Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Like
Yes.
that was our show. So like from a kid I have watched and I've grown into Bravo and I've seen everything. So I am probably one of the few people that have seen every single show that all these people are on. I know
Yeah.
it's kind of unhealthy, but you know what? It's my
No,
life. I love it.
I'm right there with you, twin. Like right
I love
there
it.
with you.
Yeah. So when Traitors came out the first season, I had a friend be like, "You need to watch a show," and I was like, "Oh my god, I do!" Because I loved. Was it Suri that was on the first season? Yeah, Suri. I was like, I
Yeah.
loved her from Survivor. It
Yep.
was great, and I remember texting other friends, "You need to watch a show." My friends are making fun of me, and I'm like, "Wait in a few years, you're going to be regretting this." And now here
Yes.
we are. All that to say is, I think the cast of this season is amazing. I think they casted it's phenomenal. I will say I don't love the traitors that they picked personally. From the other 2 seasons, I'm like, not my favorite, mainly because of how they're working with each other. Like,
Or
I wish
not.
they added in a housewife. I wish they added in a housewife. Like the fact that they had a survivor and a big brother, I'm like, that is no. And then they had added another survivor in. So I'm like, this is too many layers. I think like
Yeah.
Dorinda would have been such a good traitor, or Dolores would have been
Oh my
such a good traitor.
Dolores. Yes, Dolores would have been a great
Yeah.
traitor.
Yeah. Yeah. But overall, like I love seeing these people on my screen. I don't know if you know this, but Gabby, she went from Traitors and had like a very short break. I think like weeks and filmed Summer House. And so in the beginning of Summer
Yeah.
House, the season that's airing this week, I don't know if you watched that, but she talks about being on the Traitors.
Yes, I
And so
saw
I'm
that.
really excited. I'm really excited to see like if she's going to share anything else and kind of give us like a little bit more clues to what's going on. As someone who hates Tom Sandoval, as most people do.
Yeah.
He is so funny on this show. And
Yeah.
I like genuinely want him to say, I never thought I would say that, but he is hilarious. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's just humiliation that's so fun to watch.
it is. It's like, honestly, you kind of you deserve this. And I want you to stay on.
Mm.
And yeah. But I will say some of the like people that have gotten out so far, I've been really sad about. I'm like, "Ugh, I wish you lived a little bit longer. Like Sam still being on there. Why is he
Oh,
there?
and also, why are we not talking about this? Must be like an NDA situation because I'm like, why are we not talking about that you were married to Britney Mother effing Spears and allegedly had a hand in some type of effery in the background with her dad and the whole conservatorship? Like, what are we doing?
Exactly. Like, maybe it's because he chose to say nothing, so they're not showing him that much, but,
Yeah,
like, he's done nothing for the show.
zero.
Nothing. On the other hand, Dylan has done so much, far more than I ever thought that he would.
Yeah.
Like, I am obsessed with him. I think
Oh,
he was made for this show. I think
yeah.
he's doing so good. But it's like, Sam, you could be doing that. You could be making a name for yourself on this
Yeah.
show. You could be like trying to strategize, sounding like Tom Sandoval, where like nothing makes sense, but at least you're trying.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing hanging out with this royal? You're just playing badminton and that's it. Like,
He's trying to
it's
get a
so annoying.
bestie for after the show. He's like, listen, if I hang out with this royal, maybe I'll get something out of it. So I'm like, girl, do you want to be a part of
Exactly.
that family? I don't think so. The people in the family
No.
don't even want to be a part of that family. Okay.
Literally. That's a conversation for another time because
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Seriously. Seriously. So who do you think is going to, now that spoiler alert, if you're
Yeah.
spoiled by this, I'm shocked. But now that Rob is gone, because I think that they should have kept Rob in because it would have been a guaranteed, no matter what, whether he was a traitor or not, at least it's a guaranteed. We know
Mhm.
100% we're gonna, if he's a traitor, we're gonna get him out because we're not gonna let Rob get to the end. There
Mhm.
was no way in hell
Mhm.
if they were gonna let him get to the end. But who do
Mm-mm.
you think is going to win? Will it be a traitor or will it be a multiple or like one faithful?
I think it's going to be multiple faithfuls. Think. I
Yeah.
think because people are already on to Carolyn and they're already on to Danielle, which side note, I want Danielle gone. Like
Oh,
she
I
is
wanted
driving
Danielle
me,
gone day one. I said, "Girl, we're doing too much. Team do too much."
drives me insane.
Yeah.
And the way that she thinks she's winning right now, I'm like,
Oh,
someone please knock her off her high horse and get her out
yes.
ASAP.
Yep.
Because Gabby was onto her. And that's what's so
Yeah.
frustrating. It's like Gabby knew, like Gabby was trying, and people were just knocking her. No, no, you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, no, you were so right. Your
Yes.
theory should not have been debunked. Like you are spot on.
Yeah.
And the way that she was like giving away the shields during that like ceremony, like in the church where they'd like move the photos over or whatever,
Yes.
it's like that should have been a tell. She didn't care about being safe.
Yes. That should have been a nail in the coffin.
Exactly. Like, hello, get her out. Anyway, so I want normally I like I'm rooting for the traitors. I don't know what that says about me, but
Same.
I think because of the traitors that are left, I want a faithful to win unless you get me
Lit
another traitor in.
Literally, and they're gonna get another traitor because they always do, or at least they're gonna try to.
Mm-hmm.
They're either gonna do
Mm-hmm.
what they did in the past seasons where they like force them, basically like you're a traitor or you die, or they're gonna be like,
Yeah.
what? Like there's a world where I'm like they're gonna try to get Dylan to be a freaking traitor. I'm like, oh my
I was
god.
it's like when they tried it with Pilot Pete. It's like they
Oh, and
tried
he
to
was
get him
like,
to be a
no.
traitor. No. And I would be so curious to know if they asked Dylan because I thought the same thing. I
Yeah,
thought the exact
because
same thing.
these people, and I hate when they underestimate the lifestyle reality TV show people because I'm like that's what happened with like Phaedra. I'm like, if any of you watch any like even just one
Yep.
episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta, you would know that she would be first of all, she literally is a mortician and a lawyer, like legally binding by the state, like by the United States of America. Like that alone should have been like, oh, clock. And then like Bob,
Yeah.
if anybody watched Sibling Rivalry for literally one episode, they would all
Hmm.
know that Bob does not believe in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Like,
Exactly.
but none of them watch each other's shows. And it's like, what are we
No.
doing? Why are you even on this show? Watch each other, at least watch like a season of pot like the best of. Like watch the best ofs just to see.
Exactly.
But the fact that they
Exactly.
don't even know, like, and then they should have known, like, Robin. They should have just voted out Robin from the
Mm,
jump, or at least the traitor should have kept Robin around because of how,
hmm.
again, if you watch Potomac, her own husband lied to her on national television twice.
Yeah.
Like, she's
Exactly.
perfect to keep around
Exactly.
because of how dumb she is.
Exactly. It's like the Big Brother people and the Survivor people like kind of know each other, and so they're like,
Yes.
"Well, I know enough. I know enough," and I'm like, "But you
No.
don't. You
Nope.
don't. You don't know that Dolores is watching all of you, and Dolores is keeping track in her mind.
That's what she
Like
does
you
on her
don't under
show.
exactly, exactly. I'm like, she's gonna clock you. Give her a
Yep.
second. She's gonna come out, and you're gonna be shook. I am kind of surprised that Gabby is not Sierra. I always call her Gabby. Sierra's not playing as much. Um,
Yeah. Same.
in like because well, I guess in Summer House she's a little bit more chill, but she is smart. Like she
Yes.
is watching people. I know that she is clocking more than what they're kind of showing us. And I'm kind of
Yes.
sad. I'm like, I want to see more.
Yeah, we're really missing, I
Yeah.
think, a huge layer because I keep watching videos of them when they're doing interviews with other podcasts and groups or whatever, and they're
Mm-hmm.
having, especially Boston
Mm-hmm.
Rob has been very transparent about like a lot of what went on that we have not seen. Like Wes, I think, is another one that's been very vocal about like you guys are
Yeah.
missing like half of the story, and it's like really annoying. But at the same time, like what are they supposed to do? It's an hour TV show. Like they can't. We'd be sitting there forever if they
Mm-hmm.
just did Raw. But also, I'm kind of like, can we go like Big Brother style and have like Raw feeds like 24/7 so
Please.
we can get this like
Yeah.
middle ground that we're clearly missing, like that is really representative of the actual story that's going on.
Yep. Or give us a couple episodes a week. Like I don't understand why you couldn't give us
Yeah,
more
go Love
episodes. Like
Island 7 days a week, girl.
I'd watch it. I'd be there every single night. I
Liter
love the Traitors so much. It
I
is
wouldn't have a ki
yeah.
I'd be so happy, but thank you so much for coming on my channel. I will definitely be torturing you to come back on here again, which I'm sure will be so difficult.
It'd be so difficult to get me to yap for an hour about all my favorite things. Twist my
Literally.
arm.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Well, tell us what social media, what do you got going on? Like, what's happening?
Yes. So I am the same username on TikTok and Instagram. TikTok is where I do most of my reality TV stuff. I do a little bit on Instagram. Instagram's a little bit more lifestyle,
Yeah.
but it's 2 underscores Tori Tori and then Leigh Leigh. I'm also based out of Dallas, Texas, and I host watch parties at a bar. And we have a Survivor watch party and a Traitors watch party coming up. So if you follow my
Oh.
TikTok, you'll see me post there about it. They're super fun. We do games during, like on Survivor, we do challenges, we have food and drinks. It's super fun. So,
That is so amazing, and all of that I will put down below, so if anybody wants to go check her out, if you wanna go if you're in the Dallas area, you wanna go to these events, which is so amazing. If I was in the Dallas area, I'd be there in, like, a heartbeat. That is so flipping cool. Well, thank you so much, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.
thank you. Bye.